Hi, I'm Stan Fitzgerald. I'm the senior political advisor with Veterans for America First. Ed, you're running for a state office in Georgia. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and the office you're running for?
Yeah, I'm Ed Sully running for State House District 24. I am a Georgia native, born and bred in Atlanta. I moved up into Forsyth County a few years ago. I'm a advisory board chairman for the Republican Women of Forsyth County. I've got a wife and two kids, one in third grade, one about to enter pre-K. And that's been a big drive for me getting involved in this, is the things going on with schools and how I can help the future generations out.
Very good. Can you tell me about your major platform issues, your campaign issues?
Yeah, so kind of in order as best I can. School choice is really my number one issue. I think that the CRT and DEI and SEL things that have infiltrated our school system has been a bit of the undertone that's driven this liberal agenda for years and years and years. Is they're catching them when they're young. Now, we knew they were in the college campuses, but to find things that are promoting Black Lives Matter and other very liberal organizations in my third graders curriculum was a little aggressive, to say the least. So that coupled with the getting school choice, because I think that's the only way that we actually rid this idea from our school system, is to add competition to our school system. An age-old idea that competition breeds excellence. I think that we've created a monopoly in the public school system, and it's time that we break that up. The only way you can really do that is with the money following the child. The next big issue for me, like so many people, COVID really rocked my understanding of government overreach and how far government can reach. And I really think it's time we take a second look at the emergency powers we give governors in this state, specifically for me in Georgia, but executive power, government emergency powers all across the country we've seen abused this year, these past 2 years. Georgia was lucky, and we were only shut down for about 45 days, and we were the best of all the states to open back up, but we were still closed for 45 days from the swipe of a pen of a governor. That's terrifying. California was closed for almost 2 years from the swipe of a pen of a governor, all under this emergency act. And that's really concerning that the rest of even on the Republican end aren't seeing that as a concern, that we've given so much power into one position that we've definitely got to break that up and have some checks and balances there. And then, of course, like everybody, I think that election integrity needs to be top of mind. Georgia did a good job of passing a bill that actually addresses a lot of the issues, but it doesn't address all of the issues. It still allows drop boxes to exist, and it only takes one person to be corrupt to allow those drop boxes to be abused. We know where the errors are, we know where the problems are, and it's something if we don't handle now, we're going to be saying the same thing in 2023, and in 2025, we're going to be complaining about the election. I don't know why we don't just take care of it now.
So, as you mentioned, election integrity, as a state legislator, turn back the clock a couple of years ago. If you were in office at that time, would you have voted for an audit at Trump's request?
I would have, especially easy because Trump had agreed to pay for it as well. That makes it a no risk audit when a candidate's saying that they'll foot the bill. I think it should have been audited. And I think specifically we should have focused on the mail out ballots being audited. Every single one of those needed to be hand checked by independent parties and by the partisan parties. So a 3-person panel should have been checking every single one of those once we realized how bad they were, which we realized how bad they were going to be going into it. So the state of Georgia should have been prepared to have to audit those, knowing that what we did before and then knowing what we knew after. I don't understand why the audit didn't happen.
We have being from Georgia myself, we have a good idea why, but we'll skip that for the purposes of this interview. Along that lines, can you tell us your thoughts on President Trump and if you support the Trump endorsed candidates?
Yeah, I think that President Trump did something that all Republicans now are striving to do, which was he came in level-headed and business-minded and ran the country the way that it needed to be run, like it is the largest corporation in the world. And that's effectively how he ran it. And he did a great job. He just went after what he wanted. He was willing to make deals and negotiate, but he took a hard line and he didn't start from a losing position. He understood that his position was the winning position and he needed to get everyone to move closer to him. And he did it with creative ideas and being willing to have meetings with people that other politicians wouldn't meet with. That's the difference that he was able to make. I'm a huge supporter of all Trump endorsed candidates. If he's reached down and handpicked them, that tells me a lot about their character and what they want for the country.
Thank you. And can you just tell us a little bit about your positions on the military and law enforcement? As
Yeah,
far
so
as what you intend to do in office, if you can do anything at all to support them?
yeah, so mostly what I'd be able to do is obviously on the law enforcement side. The military gets a little more difficult because it's much more of a federal issue. I know I'd have some say with the National Guard to a limited extent, but I think that the idea that cutting back on funding in any way for law enforcement is absurd. They need to be having increased funding, increased traffic. We all know that police forces are best used in high crime areas. And there's reality to that. You can't let politics play a part of that. That we know that would increase 911 calls because increased crime should come increased police presence. And that's the driving force behind it. I think that these executive branches, mayors and things in Atlanta, the city of Atlanta mayor who was telling their officers to stand down, I think that those people should be removed from office. I think your first job as any politician is to protect the people that you serve. And the group that we use to protect the people we serve is our law enforcement. So if they don't have everything they need, you're not doing your first job. Just like the federal government was founded, the whole basis of it was they're supposed to build and maintain an army, a military to protect the country. If they're not doing that, that's their first job. That's their number one. They need to do that first before they worry about anything else. And I think that's the same with local branches. Our job is to protect the citizens, and we need to enforce our police uses first before we worry about anything else.
Well, I agree. And last question, can you tell me, do you have any primary challengers?
I do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And are any of them veterans or first responders?
I do. The person I'm running against, Sherry Gilligan, she did, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years in the Navy. At one point, I think it was Navy branch. And then the other one, Carter Barrett, does not have any military experience.
Which one is the incumbent?
Sherry Gilligan.
Okay, and her voting history, her support, does she support people in the Kemp administration? To your knowledge.
In the Kemp administration, I think she's been pretty closely aligned with the Kemp administration. But I do think she branches out a little bit.
Right. I mean, it's my understanding that she endorsed Governor Kemp, unless I misread that.
I do think she did ultimately endorse him. I know she was one of the later endorsements.
Yeah.
So I don't want to oversell her support.
No. That's for the purposes. We're a Trump organization, so
Right.
We do not in Georgia. We do not endorse people that support Governor Kemp, and she's endorsed him. That's why I asked.
Right.
For the purposes of the interview, Carter Barrett's irrelevant. So thank you for that. And could I trouble you to maybe affirm your oath of office? I sent it in the email, so I'm not reading it to you. I just think it's
Sure.
a little bit easier just for you to go ahead and take it away.
Of course. Yeah. So raising the right hand.
Yes, sir.
All right. I, Ed Sully, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Thank you, Ed. You'll be hearing from Chairman Vlad Lemets sometime within the next week. And on a side note, well, just hang on for a second. Let me shut off the recording, but I want to keep talking to you for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think that stopped it.
No, they're still showing recording.
You know what? It's okay. It's nothing personal. May 2nd is a Trump bus tour with John Frederick starting 6 o'clock in the morning at Marcy McCarthy's. So and then after, it's gonna be there for 4 hours. And after that, it's gonna go up to Sally's in Cobb County. So if
Mhm.
you can make either of those stops, you could just check in with Carolyn Jeffords when you're there. And hopefully
Okay,
John Fredericks will be able to get you on the air.
okay,
And that's just what I wanted to tell you about the bus tour. Those are only 2 firm dates right now. But publicly, as soon as Trump puts out the rest of the dates, you'll see it all over social media.
okay.
And that's about it, my friend. I'll turn this over to the board and you'll hear from Chairman Lamets.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Ed. Take care now.
Thanks.